Alright, hello everyone. This is Crota giving you game 3 in the series between ST's Bomber and SK's MC. Unfortunately, I know right around now the screen should get all unfuzzy. I'm not 100% sure why there's a little bit of gray. It could be my encoding process, but then again, the encoding process that I'm using actually cuts down my, cuts down my overall production time by about 3 hours a day. So if you're wondering why I am actually using this encoding process as opposed to the old method that I did use, it saves me a whole bunch of time and it really helps me out in the long run. Alright, MC is spawning on the top right hand side of the map of Daybreak here as the blue Protoss. Meanwhile, on the bottom left hand side of the map we have Bomber spawning as the red Terran. So Bomber so far has been caught off guard 2 times by MC's very early aggression. So far, just being able to figure out what Bomber's play is going to be. You know, a lot of Terrans are like, you know what, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to place down bunkers, I'm going to be very strong against any sort of frontal attack, and you're just going to lose a whole bunch of units. Well, Protoss players have recently found how good warp prisms could be, perhaps taking on the special tactics of White Raw and now incorporating it into a lot of higher levels of play. And this may be perhaps a big turnaround for Protoss. If Protoss is able to perfect this playstyle, I wouldn't be surprised if a Protoss player actually won MLG Anaheim. But then again, a lot of the best players out there will be playing. Now, so far, let's take a look what's going down. Barracks now being placed down here. Still no refinery coming in from Bomber. So Bomber most likely doing that one Rax expand, still sticking to his tried and true build. And hopefully he'll be able to defend it and we'll have a bit of a longer game as MC has a very comfortable 2-0 lead. Now, Cybernetics Core is warping in. Also, we can see additional probes just mining away back and forth. And the key question will be, is MC gonna perhaps go for another gas? If he goes for another gas right here, that is going to be a telltale sign that he's going to be doing some sort of heavy tech play or perhaps a sentry expand as we saw in game 1. If he doesn't, it could still mean very early aggression as we saw in game 2 with the robotics facility, the warp prism, which doesn't cost any gas and is still very effective at a 200 hit point or a 200 total point, a mobile pylon that is also able to transport units as well. Very effective here. Perhaps Bomber is going to be a little bit more assertive or more active in placing down supply depots in this fog of war, making sure that no units are able to drop in without his notice. Now, so far, we see that the command center is about 80% complete. Still no Nexus coming in here at all. MC with one Zealot, one Stalker, as MC most likely will be placing down the Nexus as soon as he can afford it, and it will be about 100 seconds behind his opponent's command center. So there you go, command center just got completed, now upgrading to an orbital command. Nexus is now warping in, and this game is underway. No real attacks anytime soon, unless MC perhaps tries to do a very aggressive build and all of a sudden starts cranking out a whole bunch of units. Marines now being added. You can see Bomber is going for that triple racks with one refinery once more, not going for that double gas that I normally see from a lot of Terran players. And if I ever had a chance, I would ask Bomber why he exactly is only going for one gas here. That does end up delaying his stim a little bit, but it does allow him to train up a little bit more Marines and perhaps continue his SCV production as another supply depot does go down. We're going to see more Marines being trained. Stim should be started here in just a moment. And now Bomber with one bunker should be able to fend off any sort of early attacks that MC has. You can see that there's not nearly as much room to drop in the fog of war here, and then by simply making his way over, one force field could easily stop all the units from coming back up that ramp. I gotta believe a supply depot will be placed down here in a moment. Otherwise, I think MC could execute the same trick with a lot of success. MC is going for that robotics facility, so we are going to have 4 production buildings, and we already have a good amount of sentries already on the field. So it may come down to a little bit of luck to see what MC is able to do, as Marines, SCVs all preparing for what looks like could be an engagement straight up on this front door. Stalkers, sentries, zealots now grouping together. Where is that robotics facility? What is it going to train first? Is it going to be a warp prism is the key question. So far, it don't see anything as of yet. Observer, Immortal, and now we're going to have an engagement on the front door. There you go. There's a Guardian Shield preventing any sort of repairing so far, and it looks like this one bunker, yes, will get taken down. Stalker takes a lot of damage. Perhaps more units going to get taken damage, or take damage as well, as the SCVs are now trying to get back in. A new Guardian Shield is coming into play. Who is actually getting that Guardian Shield? As the Guardian Shield finally does go down, SCVs are getting shot down as well, as MC has to be very careful. He cannot simply engage here, and both sides taking a little bit of losses, but that was a small amount of worker kills, and I'm not sure MC actually did the necessary damage. There was no special tactics in this attack on the front door whatsoever, and perhaps he was thinking, you know what, the past couple of games have been going special tactics, perhaps he'll spread out his defense a little bit more. That simply wasn't the case. Bomber with 2 bunkers and a third one that was destroyed earlier, more than ready to handle an attack on the front door, as MC now sets up his own nexus at his third, and this is a very defensive third for MC. This third base is tucked away back here. It's going to mean that MC is going to be forced to defend, and he doesn't want to engage for quite some time, even though he does have 6 warp gates. Every time he ventures forward, he's going to be in a very, very forward position, meaning that he's going to be far away from home. This one expansion here would at least allow him to venture out forward and then be able to retreat back to a base and defend it as well. MC now warping in an additional pylon. It looks like a factory is starting its rounds. We are going into blink. This area is much more of an easy to vend area for Bomber, as Bomber has fend off that initial attack force. Marines and Marauders now going to get healed back up, as it looks like they're going to be charging straight in at the Zelnaga Tower. Nothing happening off over here, as the Marauder, perhaps now looking for any more proxy pylons, simply passes by one here, as we are now running on 3 bases for MC. So far, MC has a 10 Harvester advantage, and we'll see how that translates in just a moment. We are getting more Stalkers. We are getting Blink Tech as well, and we are getting even more gateways. So this is going to be an 8-gate push here, as the factory spouts and scouts out this third base. That is huge. Bomber now realizes how far behind he is. One proxy pylon going to reveal all of these Marauders and the Marines. And once all of these Marauders and Marines take this down, we'll see where exactly MC goes in order to defend. MC could be a little bit sneaky now and take this opportunity to try to take this base as well, but no, looks like the Marines and the Marauders are already there and ready and willing to try and destroy that if it does come into play. One probe quickly gets taken down once more, as we now see Medivacs loading up, and we may have a straight up drop inside the main. It looks like all the units are expecting them to attack the third. Where are these Stalkers going? The Stalkers are now making their way back over here, and it looks like the drop is going to be simply in the main. The scanner sweep does reveal, and all of these Marines and Marauders are simply already dropping in, and here we go. A Nexus may get sniped down. Beautiful play by Bomber. Bomber going to deal a lot of damage here, perhaps even taking down a couple key buildings. Templar Archives most likely will get canceled. Pylon gets taken down, and MC... Bomber, is it that one medevac going to get shot down? Down to 33 hit points. And that medevac pilot going to be the hero, saving up all of those Marines once more, perhaps going to drop off all the units. And we'll see where they all regroup to. There are Marauders and the Marines off over here. They could have perhaps had a follow-up attack into the third. That would have been a brilliant two-prong attack there. How much damage was dealt, though? Not very much. Let's take a look at the total losses. MC losing a little bit more, but no true damage was dealt. Perhaps taking down a Cybernetics Core would have been helpful as well. Taking down that Cybernetics Core means that a couple round of warp-ins would be only focused on Zealots instead of the Stalkers and the Sentries. And MC would have been forced to either warp in more gateways, which has a good effect later on in the game, but not that effective early on. Psionic Storm now being researched. It looks like that Templar Archives was rebuilt. And it looks like it was rebuilt. Where was it rebuilt? Back over here. Psionic Storm and Colossi, the bane of all bio-existence. As there we go, High Templars now being added to the group. 1-1 upgrades also coming in. MC is a little bit behind, but Harvester count shows it's only a difference of 2. There are mules in play for Bomber, which should really help him out, as mules do mine as effectively as 6 Harvesters. Marines and Marauders now on the move. We can see Snipe is ready to go. Medivacs and this entire attack force just sticking very close together. Should be able to perhaps clean this up. There are 2 High Templar here. Oh, and Psystorm is not yet quite ready. This could be huge. The Marines and the Marauders going to try to engage, trying to take down those units. And the High Templar is able to barely stay alive as the Zealots now wander away. It looks as though, yes, we are going to have a factory land. There's a Psystorm. Catches some units, but doesn't really deal that much damage. And now a second Psystorm could be coming in. Ghost now looking to push in off over here. Are we going to perhaps get off some EMP shockwaves? There you go. Marines and Marauders both sides blinking. Oh, a beautiful Psystorm really ripping through much of that Bioforce. And here we go again. Zealots now trying to engage. Both sides fighting back and forth. Zealots are reinforcing. Force fields now coming in. And this is just looking absolutely like a massive fight, as both sides are still fighting here. More Psystorm coming in. And this is looking like MC is going to be taking a beating. There is one Archon here. This one High Templar doesn't have enough energy. More Stalkers are trying to engage. The Medivacs are taking a lot of damage as well. But it looks like MC has more units in the actual battle. The Marauders and the Marines perhaps need to step away. And it looks like they are not going to be stepping away, as the Medivacs leave the rest of the army high and dry.
Base is under attack.
All right. So far, Medivacs are attempting to pull back here. A factory looks like it will get shot down. The Stalkers, I do not believe, have revealed that they have Blink just quite yet, as Bomber now looks to take up his 4th base. Perhaps Bomber thought that he did a lot more damage than he did. It really doesn't feel like it. But then again, Bomber does have a 2,300 resource advantage in terms of pure army size. How many High Templars do we have? We have 7 High Templars, though. So those 7 High Templars, you got to be very, very cautious. 7 High Templars with that much storm could easily neutralize, especially with a couple well-timed force fields as well, even though MC doesn't have any sentries at this point. Zealots now making their rounds, gonna find an easy Marine to take down here. Marines now once again trying to chase in. One Marine gonna get shot as it runs right back through the vents. This command center about 75% completed. Marines now making their way off to the north. Where are these units going to go, as more Zealots are now warping in again? A Psystorm, and there we go. Oh, what's going to happen? There's a beautiful storm cast across all of these Marines and the Marauders. The Ghost, perhaps. Oh, another beautiful storm, but a double feedback, taking down more Ghosts. Double Snipes coming in as well, but the Snipe on a unit that was already pretty much low on hit points. Oh, the Ghost moving way too far in, and here we go. We do have another High Templar, and that High Templar dealing a lot of damage. EMP Shockwave dealing a lot of damage across all the Zealots. No more shields, as High Templars are now going to go up, and that is 2 more High Templar. Psystorm now quickly coming in. 1 High Templar down. Another High Templar could fall, as well as MC trying to engage with so many Marines. There's so many Zealots against so many Marines. The High Templar now trying to make its way in. It looks like, yes, an Archon now being merged instead, as the Zealots absorbing a lot of damage. Stalkers are going to get picked apart. This Archon doesn't stand a chance, as MC now down to 135 compared to 169. All right, 10 High Templar, 3 Archons now merging in. Stalkers, however, getting off a couple quick and easy hits. Stalkers also blinking away to stay alive once more. And this 3rd base is operational, but nothing mining from it just quite yet. And Archons now looking to charge in. 3-3 upgrades will be completed. Zealots now looking to come in as well. Marauders and Marines. And what is this one High Templar hoping to do? Is it going to get a storm? Yes, and a beautiful one at that. Dealing a whole bunch of damage and taking down a couple of Marauders and Marines. Psystorm is coming in, and oh, a feedback. Beautiful storms as MC getting his way and microing his way back with all of these units. We can see a Warp Prism now warping in multiple Zealots here behind a backdoor attack. Marines and the Marauders, are we going to perhaps get a Psystorm on the ramp? EMP Shockwave. The High Templar does have enough for a Psystorm still, decides to back off instead, as the Zealots are going into the natural expansion. What is this High Templar going to do? It could have come back in, could have side-stormed the ramp. It had enough energy, but decides to back away once more. All right. High Templars are regrouping, and these High Templars are showing how effective they can be. Oh, Zealots are now coming in together. Where is this High Templar going to go as all of these SCVs are being forced to run away? Where's that High Templar? Sidestorm could be coming in. Yes, it does deal a little bit of damage, but now dealing some damage back to those Zealots instead. Marauders and the Marines are trying to back away. Medivacs picking up all of the units as we now see a very large Bioforce coming in to finish off that High Templar. But now instead, Zealots going to be charging here at the fourth base. Bomber going to be losing this fourth base as MC with beautiful storms is going to look to take this game as he's taking this advantage here, splitting up the army. It looks like the Archons are going up against Marauders and Marines without any Medivacs. Zealots now chasing. There are Vikings in the air, but the Vikings are of absolutely no use since there are no Colossi. And now we see a fourth base being taken up by MC compared to Bombers 3. Harvester count 71 to 46. And wow, it doesn't look like there's much of a difference in terms of minerals, but gas telling a different story. A 1,600 different difference in terms of gas, and much of that gas is just in Medivacs and Vikings, two units that really don't deal any damage, as there's no units to really attack, or Medivacs just don't deal damage. Ghosts now making their way out again. MC have 3/3 upgrades. MC really showing how strong Storm can be when effectively used. Those storms have been beautiful, just being cast straight up on top of those Marines and those Marauders, and it's very difficult for a Terran player to constantly try to split up those Marines and Marauders, as we now see some beautiful storms come in. There's some more beautiful storms just cast across multiple units. Another round of Psy Storm, and the Marauders and the Marines trying to push themselves away. Any more High Templars? Zealots are getting within combat range. We can see Stalkers now engaging off over here. Zealots now engaging here as well. The Archons should be able to finish off the rest of this engagement. The Archons now regenerating some shields. No, quickly getting taken down. But the base is now taking some damage as well. Zealots may be able to finish this off. This is 3/3 upgraded units as the Zealots are trying to take down some SCVs. Marauders and the Marines finally show up here. A High Templar doesn't have enough energy for Psystorm. But Bomber now down to only, 28 SCVs compared to 71. Army tab 2550 versus 3350. But SK's MC also has almost the same amount in gas alone. Archon ready to go. Orbital command about to land again. It's going to get pushed back as the Stalker's going to be able to easily spot that and now perhaps try to shoot it down. High Templars are in position. That is a lot of High Templars. I'm surprised that MC is not splitting up those High Templars a little bit more in order to make sure that one EMP shockwave is not the death of him. Here we go, Marauders and the Marines. Archons are not going to get slowed down by concussive shell. EMP shockwaves are hitting, but really hitting units that are very, very far in the back. And there is the GG. 3 straight losses for Bomber against MC. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this, I guess, a best of 5 series between Bomber and MC.